Hey guys, what's up? Are you thinking of moving to Los Angeles?
Because we have 4 tips to help you strategically plan your move.
So let's get started right now.
Hey guys, welcome. We are the LA Urban Ladies.
And we have been best friends since basically forever. And I uprooted and moved to Los Angeles from Colorado 8 years ago.
I moved here 4 years ago.
And we just wanted to give you guys some insight and some tips on the big things that were kind of complicated to us that we didn't really prepare for when we were moving to LA.
And that we wish we would have known.
So in today's video, we're going to share with you 4 tips that will make a big difference if you are contemplating making that move to LA or really making a move to any other city than where you live now.
Tip number 1, finding a place to live. It's not easy.
Guys, when you are planning your move, you really should do an in-person visit first and give yourself, 2 weeks? Give yourself at least 2 weeks to visit and search areas. And it's really important that you kind of know what area you want to live in depending on what your job is or what you're hoping your job will be. So let's say you're a dancer, right? You would want to live in
The Arts District.
The Arts District, like North Hollywood or something close to it. Maybe Valley Village or Toluca Lake even. Or let's say you're in film, you want to maybe live close to the New York Film Academy or in
Studio City,
Burbank, really good areas. So it's really important that you know where you're or what kind of work you're doing and kind of do your research on what areas are good to live in, because guys, the traffic here in LA, it's no joke, and you really need to kind of take into consideration where you want to live depending on how far your work is. You want to live pretty close to your job.
You want your commute to be as easy as possible, because the longer it takes to get there, the more stress you're gonna have sitting in traffic, because you could have a 15-minute commute to work, and then the very next day it could be 45 minutes. You really never know what to expect when you're jumping on freeways. So it's really important that you're researching and finding a place to live close to the industry that you're gonna be working in. So while you guys are visiting LA, it's important to come prepared to act, right? Because it's very hard to find a place here. So I actually have a list for you guys. You want to have your license or your ID, passport of some sort, your bill with your current address on it. So a utility bill, a water bill, something that has your address on it that's current. You also want your social security number, social security card with you. You want a checkbook to put a deposit down, security deposit, first month's rent. That is key in finding a place.
You never know when you're gonna walk into a place and you're gonna love it. Well, the thing is, there's gonna be 20 people coming right after you. So if you really have your heart set on a place, sometimes, guys, we've done it. You just kind of have to bite the bullet and put that deposit down.
Because they will put the deposit down and you'll be sad. You also want to make sure you have your bank statements, because your landlord needs to know that you have 3 months of income ready to pay rent. And you need to dress to impress.
Yeah, guys, we've gone to, when we first came here looking for a place, or when she came here to live with me and we were looking for a place to live, man, there would be people wearing sweatpants. There were people dressed just don't wear sweatpants, okay?
Dress like you're going to a job interview.
Yes, because honestly, if it's a privately owned building that has 20 units in it, they can turn you down just if they don't like you. So it's really important that when you're looking for an apartment, it's kind of like looking for a job. You need to be on your A game and bring a pen, bring a folder full of all these things that we just listed. We'll also list them down in the description box below, because this could make or break you finding a really awesome apartment that if you don't have these things, it could potentially get taken just like that. Right? Right. Moving on. Tip number 2. Guys, LA is expensive. expensive. You need to have some cash saved before you move. It's actually recommended that you have $5,000 to $10,000 saved before you move.
It's all dependent on your comfort zone and what you're willing to risk, right? Because the average rent in LA is $1,600 for a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. Now that's pricey.
It's steep. So make sure that you guys have enough cash saved for at least 3 to 6 months if you don't have a job before moving to LA. So you need to have 3 to 6 months of money saved, not only for your rent, but for living. So guys, gas here in LA, the average price is going to be $4 a gallon. So you need to take into consideration your rent, your gas, your food. I think Trader Joe's is probably the best place to get like good prices.
Most valuable and for the most affordable.
Yeah, Whole Foods, Pavilions, Gelson's, those places are going to be pretty like ouch on food prices, but Trader Joe's and Ralph's, they're pretty good, and Ralph's has a lot of discounts all the time.
Great produce.
Yeah.
Get a Ralph's card. Valuable.
Yes, get a Ralph's card. The other thing, guys, is when you move here, it's hard to avoid all of the restaurants and places to go because you just want to explore. But if you don't have a job and you only have that $5,000 to $10,000 saved, it's really important you're kind of watching your money in the beginning, because an average cost to go out and eat and have one drink is going to be about $32 on average. It's about $12 to $16, I would actually say more like $17, $18 per entree, and then drinks are going to cost you about $8 and up.
Plus, it's not nice to not tip your waiter. So think about that.
Be a good person. Do your tip.
Yeah.
Also, a couple things where you're gonna find like some hidden cost is gonna be in parking. Guys, you have to pay to park everywhere. Meters.
Everywhere.
If you don't pay your meter, ticket.
$75.
Yes, 72 actually in Sherman
Woo!
Oaks. And if you don't read the signs and you park on a street during street sweeping day, you will get a ticket. Like every single
read
time.
the signs.
You
Do
have
not forget to read the signs.
You have to read the signs. I think each of us spent like
at least $500
at
on
least
tickets.
in tickets, because in
You know,
Colorado they didn't have those.
There's no such thing as
Yeah.
street sweeping and parking meters and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really read your signs, pay your meter, because it's inevitable. You'll have a ticket. Also, you have to look out for some malls like the Americana or the Grove, like all of those parking structures. A lot of parking structures here in LA do cost money, as well as beach parking. So you might think, oh, we want to go to the beach. It's about $15 to park in the beach parking lot. So just be prepared when you move to LA to know that basically everything has a cost. Gas is high, food is high, rent is high, parking everywhere usually has some sort of fee.
You can't avoid it.
So tip 2, really bring some cash before you make your move.
Tip number 3, you need a car to live here. Here's why.
Okay, so walking, impossible. A car, that is sketch. Actually, my first year here living in LA, I had no money. I was struggling to the bit. Like, I think I was only eating on like $13 a week because I was like, how in the world am I gonna pay my rent? And so I bought a super cheap bike. I literally got hit by a car. Don't worry, I was fine. But I got hit by a car. I was riding on the sidewalk thinking it was safer, and someone came flying out of an alley and smashed right into my back tire of my bike. So unless you're an experienced cyclist, you should definitely not ride a bike in LA because it's pretty sketchy. No one's paying attention. A lot of people are
in
texting.
LA, people do not have the right of way, right? So people are not looking out for you. People, like we said, it's very, very high traffic here. They need to get to where they're going, and you do not matter. You're in their way. Do not bike.
It's true. People are totally,
Very sketchy.
they're not nice.
Not nice.
Not nice drivers. Also, the public transit is just a little bit stressful. Like, it's not as convenient as like I wish it would be like in other big metropolitan cities like New York. It can be done. Don't get me wrong. It totally can be done. It's just not as convenient. And then also with the driving, when you have a car, which you should have a car, you got to give yourself a lot of extra time to get to point A to point B, because
until you learn your route and what works for you and time frame of traffic, because you need 30 minutes to an hour to get to where you're going.
yeah, depending on where you are. And the other big one is to download Waze on your phone, because I also whenever I'm driving somewhere, I usually have my Google Maps open. And then I think I usually open up my Waze and I do like a comparison on
the
routes
time
and
frame.
stuff, because you really never know like what to expect with driving. So make
Or
sure you
what
have a
kind
car.
of accidents there's going to be, or what kind of construction there's going to be.
Yeah. So make sure you have a car when you come. It's going to help you a lot, and it's going to save a lot of stress, because when I didn't have a car, it was really, really difficult to get around, and I was very, very limited on
Uber is not cheap either.
and Uber's not cheap. So a car, you're going to like to have one. And lastly, tip number 4. Guys, when you're moving to LA, you must keep an open mind. We both are from Colorado, and one of the things we find ourselves talking about a lot is the culture shock of moving to this city. It's nothing like where we grew up. The people are different. The work environments are different. The work ethics of people are going to be a lot different. So, wherever you're coming
Everything
from,
is different.
everything is different. You scared me a little bit.
Sorry.
But you just have to prepare yourself to know that coming from wherever you're coming from and going to LA, there's really nothing like LA. Like LA is almost like this completely different universe in itself.
Yeah.
It's like LA is like a bubble. Like people like literally, I'm like, have you been elsewhere? Like people kind of live in this self-absorbed bubble, to be completely honest. So just be open-minded and just kind of be ready for that.
Come with a clean slate. Be ready to hear things like the Valley or the 405 or new lingo.
Freeway talk.
Freeway talk. Yeah, be ready to prepare yourself in those kinds of freeway conversations. They happen. It's weird. It happens.
And when you ask questions, like I always tell people, like I've lived here for 8 years and I still ask questions, and people still look at me like, why are you asking me questions?
You crazy.
Like, don't be scared. Like, just ask questions. Like, people may seem all stuck up and everything, and you might go into a mall and you're in Macy's and you get like snobbed, and you're like, dude, you work at Macy's. Like, I'm not knocking that. Like, we've all worked retail jobs, but just be ready for like some snood.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's probably in all the other cities too. I'm sure there's, I mean,
But LA is the worst. I mean,
LA,
everybody knows it. So
it's got its interesting melting pot of people, but that's also why LA is so awesome to live in, right? It's such a cool city,
it's worth it.
but keep an open mind.
In summary, to recap the 4 tips that we gave you today, right? Tip number 1, finding a place to live. Not easy. Come out early, find a place, bring all the stuff you need. Step number 2, save some cash. You're gonna need a lot of it before you move here. Here's why. Rent is not cheap.
Nothing's
Gas
cheap.
is not cheap.
End of
Food
discussion.
is not cheap. End of discussion. Step number 3, get a car.
Get a car.
You need a
Just
car.
do it.
Commuting from place to place. You can't bike. You can't walk. It's impossible. The bus sucks. Get a car. And step number 4, keep an open mind, because LA is nothing like you've ever seen before, or felt before, or heard before, or experienced. So just keep an open mind and go with the flow. At least early on, you're going to need to.
So if you guys like this channel, hit the subscribe button. And guys, leave a comment below. We're interested to know, what are your biggest questions about moving to Los Angeles? So leave us a comment. We'll get back to you, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace.
Peace.
Get yourself together.
I'm trying.
Oh my God, it's just,
It was funny.
you're just talking to it.
Okay.
Get your eyes like not like
Okay.
that. No. Okay. In all
let's-
seriousness, just like take a second.
Are my eyes better?
You're getting there.
Why is this funny?
You can do it. You're strong, confident. Totally got this.
Okay.
Okay.